Okay, hi everyone. Let's explore problem 20-1, which asks you to prepare a pension worksheet for the pension plan for 2014 and 2015. And I'm going to help you a little bit with the 2014 pension worksheet. Okay, so in this situation, we've got a projected benefit obligation of $4,505,000. You can see me moving this little pencil here. And the fair plan of plan assets is 4,203,600. All right, so let me show you where these how I would start this one. So I'm just going to highlight that 4505 there, and I'm going to slide this over so you can see to the right. I would put the 4505 as the projected pension obligation right there. And then I'll use a little bit of a different color. Well, let me put this back here. I think I then have to highlight another place to see if I can change the color. So here's 4203, and that came from the fair plan of the plan assets. Okay, so that was that number right there. All right. So once I drop those two numbers where they need to go, and I know this back and forth is a little difficult, but I don't know how to get it all on the screen, then what we know is we've got an inconsistency between the two balances. So we either have a pension asset or a pension liability. With a credit of $4,505,000 and a debit that's less, then we need some other entry here. Okay, and that difference would be 301,400, so you would want to put that in the pension asset liability. Okay, then what do they tell us? Well, for 2014, the service cost is $163,700. Let me go ahead and highlight that. So list that as a debit to the annual pension expense. Okay, now, of course, that has an impact. Let me slide that over. I read that without you being able to see that. Put this back here. Okay, so there's the service cost of 163. And then sliding over, we need to show on the memo record that 163 would fall under the projected benefit obligation. Okay, what's next? Next item we have is what? Well, the next thing we should do is calculate the interest cost. So if you take the projected benefit obligation of $4,505,000 times the interest settlement rate of 10%, you're going to come up with $450,500. Okay? Now, you should be able to do that calculation in your head, but if not, calculate in Excel or somewhere. Here's the calculation for you. Okay? And now I slid over, and I'll show you that we also put the $450,500 on the memo record. Okay, next they give us the actual return of $252,216. I'll highlight that one. There's no real reason to highlight any of these, but I thought maybe it makes it easier to see where the numbers come from and where they go. Okay, so that $252,216, the actual return on the plan assets, we would show that under annual pension expense as well. And this time, that actual return would fall under the memo record column under plan assets. Okay, so we've had projected benefit obligations of the fair value of the plan assets at the beginning, then the service cost of $163,700 and the interest cost, but this time we've got the actual return falling under the plan assets column. All right, so the next thing we can explore is the contributions, and I'll highlight this one in, how about this gray, grayish purple color. the contributions or funding to the plant was $248,100. So now we see that has an impact of cash, right? So that would be entered as a credit. We show that on the cash side. And then sliding over, that also would then have an impact showing under the memo record debit $248,100 under plan assets. Okay. Okay. Next we have to consider the benefits paid. So for 2014, that's this $213,600 here. There's no entry that you need to make under the left side of the pension worksheet. But on the right side, and I'll slide over again, you need to show the $213,600 as a impact on the projected benefit obligation and the plan assets. Okay, and then once we have that, we can make the journal entry for 2014. Okay, and again, I brought this over just to show you the calculation. We'll use positive numbers for the debits, negative numbers for the credits. You can see I've just put those three numbers there, and I come up with the debit amount of $361,984 that needs to be calculated for the annual pension expense for our journal entry. And of course, you would do this for all the columns, right? So what do we have? Various entries we need to make. And no entry needs to be made for the journal entry under the memo record. Okay, well that's just a little bit of this problem that I thought might be helpful to you. And well, I certainly hope, let me get this back, I want to slide this back where we want to go again. And I hope this helps you get started with the pension worksheet for the year 2014 anyway. Put that back to where it needs to go. Thanks, everybody.